Hey guys, welcome back. I'm going to do a quick update video of the Savage 110 in 300 Winchester Magnum. A lot has changed since you last saw this rifle. Since then, I have replaced practically everything on this rifle except the magazine, the stock. Yeah, the magazine and the stock, and the bolt handle. But other than that, let's get into it. So, from when you last saw this, the stock used to be gray. I got tired of the gray because gray is kind of bland and not very appealing to see. So I bought some stencils and some Brownells Alumahide paint, and I went to town on it with a tricolor. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's like a lighter green here. Focus, please. A light green here, a brown, and an OD green as the base. So yeah, I think you can see it a lot better here. This is an M90 Splinter style, I guess, stencil that I have on here. And they have various stencils on their website. I forget what the website was. I'm going to have to look it up and I'll put it in the description down below. So I've got it painted. I replaced the trigger. I replaced the scope on top, replaced the bipod and the barrel and the muzzle brake. So going from, I guess, tip to butt, we're going to start off with the muzzle brake. I replaced the muzzle brake from the Strike Industries J-Comp to a Griffin Armament Reflex. If I will focus, please. Can we focus on that? Come on, let's do it. It wants to get the, I'm gonna have to do this manual. There we go, had to put a cardboard box underneath of it. So this is their 30 caliber model. This is the Griffin Armament Reflex brake, and it has threads on the back for use of their over-the-barrel suppressor, which I eventually will pick up later. Next, we move on to the Excalibur barrel. This is a 416 stainless steel barrel that has been cryogenically treated for barrel harmonics, and apparently it's supposed to get rid of heat a lot better than a standard 416 barrel. So I would definitely opt for the cryogenically treated barrel option. This was installed by a gunsmith in New Jersey, KI Precision, guy over there, Kurt. He knows what he's doing. If you want to build a precision rifle, definitely go see him and call him first. Again, that's KI Precision. I'm not sponsored by them, but they just do a really, really good job on rifles, so I can't recommend them more. So, yeah, so the barrel is a 300 Winchester Magnum. It's threaded for a Savage small shank. That's kind of a tongue twister. So yes, Savage small shank. That's usually what all of your small calibers are for your repeater actions in Savage. You can find out by measuring the barrel nut, and if you have a, I guess it's the longer barrel nut, it's small shank, and if it's a shorter one, it's the large shank. So yeah, back to the barrel. It's 416 stainless, 300 Winchester Magnum. This is 5R rifling in 1 in 9 twist. The reason why I went with a 1 in 9 twist is because of the bullets that I'm going to be using. The bullets I will be using are 198 grain Warner Tool Company, what are known as their flatline bullets. These things are very, very long. So here they are in comparison with a 10mm auto and an Energizer AA battery. So they're about the length of a AA battery. These things are uber long, and they need a very tight twist rate of barrel in order to stabilize. Moving on, we have the Magpul bipod. This is their QD attachment one, specifically for, I guess, bolt action rifles with their sling QD attachments. They attach via these little attachments here at the bottom. If I can get them to focus, please. Overall, very impressed with the build quality of these. Magpul always does a good job with their attachments and things like that. These are very adjustable too. They have pretty long adjustability, so you can really stand them up like this. It's crazy. This model has both swivel and cant. See, you can cant the rifle and it'll hold just fine. That's definitely a big benefit. I definitely like the cant and a little bit of swivel because it helps you in certain matches. So yeah, very, very impressed with the Magpul bipod. Moving on top, we have the Steiner Military. This is a G2 mil-dot reticle. This is a 3-12. If I can focus, I don't know what the focus deal is here. Yeah, this is a 3-12. This is a 34 millimeter tube with a 50 millimeter objective. First focal plane, and this is in milliradians. There you go, milliradians, and it has 0 stops. So if you dial it up, if we can focus, please. Focus, focus. There we are. If you dial up and you come back to 0, it'll stop. Yeah, I can't go any farther than 0. And when you go past, it has 2 sets of numbers on here. When you get to 9 on this side, or 9.5, go to 0, it pops out a little button that tells you to go to the top numbers. And it has about, I don't know if it's 20 or 19.5 milliradians of adjustment. But either way, 19.5 milliradians of adjustment is absolutely absurd amounts. I'm very pleased with the optic. It has very, very clear glass. I can't ask for a better optic. Maybe a Kailh's, but they're expensive. Kailh's are about a $3,500 optic. This is about a $2,500 optic, give or take, depending on where you buy it from. But definitely well worth it. Buy these things used because they hardly ever break. And along with that is Steiner has a unconditional warranty, whereas if you break it under normal circumstances, they'll either fix it or replace it, which is good. That's why essentially I went for a Steiner, because of the warranty. Moving on, I replaced the spring with a Wolf high energy spring because in these times of craziness, I use a lot of military primers because I have a bunch of the military large rifle primers, and they're a lot harder, and the spring on the Savage sometimes wouldn't set them off. So I got a Wolf high energy spring. I think this is a 40-pound spring. Either way, the bolt is still just as easy to open. So, new spring. I'm looking for a machine shop to get me a titanium firing pin, but that'll be later on down the line. So yeah, it still has the accurate mags. These are Savage branded, but they're made by MDT. And these are the CIP length ones. They're still like a $100 magazine. It's absurd. So that's the only magazine that I have. I plan on getting more. Yeah, let's move on to the trigger. The trigger is a Rifle Basics SAV2, SAV2. This is a single stage. This is a single stage trigger, and I have it set to 1 pound, 15 ounces. And here we go. Absolutely no over travel, no creep, nothing, just a crisp trigger. We'll do that again. We'll do the old grand thumb thing here. Put your finger on mine. Here we go. Pressure, 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 pressure. Break. So that is like one of the best triggers I've ever put on a rifle. It's absurd. Definitely highly recommend it. And one more time, just because it's a really nice trigger. Pressure, 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 pressure. Break. So yeah, that's the updated Savage 110 and 300 Winchester Magnum. Hope you enjoyed.